If Oxford United win here today, they're up and nothing else matters. If Oxford United draw, they could still go up. If Accrington lose at home against Stevenage, it's a long shot, but as they used to say, it might just work. Let's go live to the Crown Ground and Joel Hammer.
Yeah, 5,000 fans have packed into this bijou corner of Lancashire, and they're here very much in expectation, because not only are Stanley on a terrific run of form, they face a Stevenage team who've had nothing to play for several weeks. That said, Stevenage are unbeaten in 4, and whilst Graham Westley's no longer the manager, I still can't think of a more appropriate team to play party pooper. In a season that's seen Leicester City complete the most remarkable of football successes, a victory for Accrington today would also provide a fairy tale end to the season, so long, of course, as it's not at the expense of the U's.
Thank you, Joel. Of course, if Oxford United were to lose today, they're still a way up. In fact, if Bristol Rovers don't win in their home game against Dagenham, that'll do it, whatever happens here. Again, it's a long shot because Dagenham and Redbridge are already relegated. Crackling atmosphere at the Memorial Ground for Ross Heaton.
It is absolutely crackling here already inside a sunny Memorial Ground. This match sold out several weeks ago, and the crowd's excitement has only increased further with the news that top scorer Matty Taylor will play. The Oxford-born forward has passed a fitness test on a knee problem and is named alongside former U's Christian Montano and Lee Mansell. Dagenham have dropped striker Jamie Curitan to the bench. They make 2 changes, and with the side already relegated, John Still has decided to include 3 teenagers. Right back Jimmy Shepherd only made his debut last week. The fans have packed the ground, blue and white shirts and flags, inflatables are everywhere, so too are the headphones. They know that even with a win, they need favours elsewhere. The local press here have already confidently predicted to me that Oxford will lose. I hope at the full-time whistle I will be the only person in this stand celebrating.
Thank you, Ross. Oxford United striker Danny Hilton last night was voted the PFA Fan Player of the Month, but it's nowhere near the prize he really wants this weekend. Hilton, who's out of contract with United, is hoping that today ends with a win against Wycombe and the U's, having earned a place in League One. So, is this the most significant match in his career?
By a million miles. The biggest game that I've ever played in. Obviously, we played Wembley earlier on in the season, but we've set out to achieve this at the beginning of the season now. So, yeah, we're fully aware of how big the game is, but yeah, we can't wait for it.
You've achieved so much, broken records, won through to Wembley, FA Cup run. Do you deserve promotion?
Yeah, I think we deserve it, but we won't deserve it unless we win Saturday, you know, because we won't be where we need to be. So I'm sure if you ask Bristol and Aki the same question, they'll say they deserve it. So we'll find out on Saturday, you know. We're right up for the game. The lads are not nervous, they're dead excited. We're going to give it our all. We're going to give everything.
Have you thought about what it must be like to be a Wycombe player? Have you been in their shoes at any stage in your career?
I have. I was at Aldershot at the time, and we played Swindon, and if they won the game, they'd get promoted. And that day we beat them, and Kanye was going mad on the side of the pitch. He wasn't happy at all. They later on and got promoted, you know, but we haven't got that luxury, you know. We haven't got them extra games after today, so we're fully aware that Wycombe are going to come and try and spoil our party. That's what they're going to do, and that's what any team would do. We would do the same. So we're going to have to make sure we match their work rate, their hunger, their desire, their physicality, and we're going to have to win the game.
You've been able to do that. I mean, some of the more physical teams you've been able to deal with. This is going to be an occasion where you've got to manage your emotions, because they do like to frustrate, they do like to time waste, they do like the gamesmanship. You can't afford sendings off, for example.
Of course, yeah. It's a lot of stake, and there's going to be a full house, and everyone's going to be right up for it. The last thing you want is to go and get sent off after 5 minutes, and it's a real uphill battle then. So yeah, we're going to have to make sure we're right at the line of competing, getting in their faces, working hard, but don't cross that line like we have done all season. Though our discipline's been very good. Yeah, and like I say, we're going to definitely have to match them, and I'm sure after that opening 15-20 minutes, you know, if we've matched them, our footballing ability will come through.
Has this been a long week for you?
Do you know what? It's not. Give us a day off. It's just been a normal week, and I can't wait for Saturday, so I can't wait for the game. We're all going to, obviously, come Saturday, we're going to give our all, and we're going to get promoted, hopefully.
Hopefully, he's right. Danny Hilton speaking ahead of this game. He's in the Oxford United starting lineup today. Last week, we handed over to Selfie about 5 minutes before kickoff. That worked. We're all in the same clothes as last week and all the rest of it. This week, Selfie will take it away from, well, he's forming part of the Guard of Honour as the teams prepare to come out on the pitch. Downstairs, onto the pitch to Selfie.
Thank you very much, Jerome. It is quite a moment. You can hear the crowd. If you can't be inspired as a player from this crowd today, no nervous anticipation coming off there. These boys and girls, the fans bedecked in yellow and blue, are literally right with their club. We're looking down the mouth of the tunnel. We're waiting for those players to come out. It is game 45 of a 46-chapter season, we hope. This last chapter is going to wring every emotion out of you for the next 90 minutes. These boys, these magnificent men in yellow, are going to drag their bodies through another 90 minutes. And like every book you've ever read, you can't thumb to the end of the book to see if it all turns out fine. You've got to stay with everybody in the ground and on the radio, on the wireless, crackling, the internet, whatever, digital radio. You've got to stay with us to see exactly what happens. There's no flicking through to the end. We're looking down the tunnel. The fans are just bouncing. Oh, what I'd give to put a yellow shirt on a play today, because this must inspire you. You just look around, it is unbelievable. I can't build it up enough. We've talked about this ground sometimes not having the soul or the passion. Tell me, it's there. You'd want everyone, man, boy, woman, child, whatever, cheering your name, because they are right with you. Still we wait for the people that could change the whole mood in an instant. That'll be the officials. We wait for our top men, the boys in yellow. It's just being cranked up and cranked up and cranked up all the way through. You cannot believe it. Faces that were nervous, people that haven't slept, and now just quite simply all eyes on the bit of grass that I'm stood on. It is such a moment that you cannot believe it. And we just wait. I want the roof to come off of this stadium. As soon as those boys come out, they'll know what I'm experiencing now. They'll know that everybody in Oxfordshire, everybody that bleeds yellow and blue, is going to be with them. It's a little bit grey over the top of our heads. There's been a few spots of rain, but the pitch is immaculate. No excuses here. You've got to play football on this. We know. We asked everybody to wear the same clothes as last Saturday, and they're back in them. Listen. It is tingle time. I tell you what, you can take your Wembley in 35,000. That was great in the JPT, but 11,000 just going for it. We're waiting to see. I'm just glancing down the tunnel, being asked to move away at times. They're in there. We are waiting now. 22 players, 90 minutes of football. Every kick, every tackle, every waft of the referee's card. The referee at close quarters, not a man to be trifled with. You're going to relive it if you're not here. You're going to listen to every moment, brought to you beautifully by Jerome and Nathan and BBC Radio Oxford Sport next.
Thank you, Selfie. The Oxford United players come out to an incredible display. Oxford, says a banner that stretches the entire length of the East Stand. The time has come. A new era is upon us. Time for heroes. The time is now. Oxford United against Wycombe Wanderers is exclusively live with us next.
Every kick of every match.
Into the penalty area, brings it down, shot away, it scores! Corner comes in, flick in the near post, it is a goal!
The U's on 95.2 FM.
Oh, what a goal! It's another magical moment for Oxford United!
BBC Radio Oxford, the official broadcast partner of Oxford United.
Thank you for being with us. I know you wouldn't want to be anywhere else, except if you're not here. You might want to be here and listening to the radio, I suppose. Oxford United against Wycombe Wanderers is only moments away. It is about the football now. The talking is done. It's about the 11 players and maybe the substitutes who can make a difference out here right now. Here's the Oxford United team. Benji Bukial plays in goal. The right back is going to be John Joe Kenny, on loan from Everton. What a day it is for the 18-year-old. Also for Oxford United, at left back, another youngster, but this is homegrown, Josh Ruffles. Shay Dunkley and Jake Wright, the captain, in the centre of defence for Oxford United today. In the centre of midfield, Liam Surkham and John Lundstrom. Right side for Oxford, Alex McDonald. Left side, at least to start, Chris Maguire. And the top scorer of last season, Danny Hilton, is up front with the top scorer of this season, Kemar Roof. Sam Slocum, Johnny Mullins, George Waring, Josh Ashby, Jordan Bowery and also on the bench for Oxford United, Callum O'Dowda. Ryan Alsop gets the nod in goal for Wycombe Wanderers today. Saido John Barty is there, Stephen McGinn back in the team, Anthony Stewart, Aaron Pierre, Gary Thompson, Marcus Bean and Paul Hayes, Danny Rowe, Michael Harriman and Jason McCarthy making up the starting 11. Only 6 on the bench for Wycombe Wanderers: Siegrist, Liebert, Sellers, Kretschmar, Ugwu and Sellers. And we're just about set here at the Kassam Stadium. You can follow us, of course, on @BBC Oxford Sport for our Twitter feed this afternoon. You can keep up to date with us on digital radio and on 95.2 FM. And we will keep you in touch with what's happening too at the Crown Ground and at the Memorial Ground, where Accrington Stanley at the Crown Ground are playing against Stevenage, and Bristol Rovers are playing against Dagenham. Scores there could help Oxford United, but if they win here, it will be matterless. Danny Hilton has been voted the Andrew Knapton Fans Player of the Year. A little distraction for him. 2 awards in the last 24 hours. He was the PFA Fans Player of the Month for the whole of League Two as well. Jake Wright, the Oxford United captain, shakes hands with Paul Hayes, the opposite number from Wycombe Wanderers, as the formalities are presided over by Keith Stroud, who's the referee. Oxford have won the toss. There's a start. They'll attack the open end of the Kassam Stadium in the first half of the game. 10 years and a day after Oxford United played a League Two game that mattered so much and were relegated from the Football League, they try again to be the team that's celebrating going up. It was Leyton Orient, of course, that day. As I look to my left, there are fans taking their places on top of vehicles parked at the open end of the Kassam Stadium so they can peer over the fence and watch the game. It is that sort of afternoon. Both teams go into a huddle, a pre-match huddle. Oxford break first, Wycombe second. Wycombe will kick the game off. Their kit predominantly sky blue but with dark blue quarters. Oxford United have only beaten Wycombe Wanderers on this ground once, and that was on New Year's Day in 2005. Wycombe have got a tremendous record here. Oxford United cannot afford that to continue. We're about to get underway then. Wycombe to kick off, attacking the goal away to our right. The referee is Keith Stroud. He's about to blow his whistle, and our commentary is about to kick off with Peter Rhodes-Brown and first Nathan Cooper.
Swindon, Northampton, the MK Dons next year, or the real Dons this week in the playoffs? We're about to find out. Live with BBC Radio Oxford, straight from kick-off. Wycombe towards the edge of the Oxford United penalty area, where Jake Wright is there to clear up towards Kemar Roof. Will he be the returning hero? Will it be Luntram midfield? Will it be Jake Wright without a goal ever for Oxford United? Is there a hero lying in wait in yellow and blue? Ball is played all the way through to Ryan Alsop, who's back in goal for Wycombe this afternoon, and he plays a long ball forward. Hayes flicks it on, picked up alongside him Harriman in the attack, but Circum is there, lays the ball to McDonald, long ball. Roof starts the chase, little body check but not enough to distract the United striker too much. He won't complete the chase because it runs through to the goalkeeper anyway, and Danny Hilton goes to close it down. Alsop picks it up, all in white. Quite an imposing sight actually, the big man on loan from Bournemouth between the sticks for Wycombe in that all-white kit, and he hammers it forward. Hayes, the skipper, lays it off, looking for the run of Harriman alongside him, but again United win it back, and they go along with McDonald looking for the supporters player of the year, Danny Hilton, over the head of Pierre. Hilton into the penalty area, should be a corner, and is for Oxford. First of the afternoon in front of that fence end, where those fans who couldn't get tickets are on the roofs of cars. They've got a makeshift sort of balcony in one of those cars over there. Hello, if you're listening, welcome. You're not alone in listening this afternoon to Oxfordshire Sports Leader. And they're watching over the goal away to our left, where Chris Maguire spots up the flag kit, delivers right-footed. Hilton diverts it, goals, and it just goes wide of the post. 6 yards out with his back to goal, looking for his 15th of the season. The end at which he blasted over a penalty in this fixture last year, when Wycombe came from behind to take the point. And it was just wide of the right-hand upright. Incredible noise inside the Kassam Stadium from around about 20 to 3 or so. And it is yet to abate as the ball is cleared by Alsop with this goal kick then for Wycombe, without a win in 7, of course. Oxford's only defeats in the last goodness knows how many games have come here at the Kassam Stadium, as Pierre Flicks one forward for the visitors, runs through, does it, via Jake Wright to Bukel. It's not the best kick, but it finds Maguire. It's not a bad ball in the end, and Maguire lays the ball off into the path of Ruffles, the makeshift left back. For Roof, how will the ankle stand up this afternoon? OK so far as he finds Maguire. He finds Hilton on the charge. And a good bit of covering coming in there from Pierre, and the ball is smuggled back to Ryan Alsop. It's 0-0, and the first thoughts of Peter Rhodes-Brown.
I think my first thought is that me and you aren't going to sit down. North Jerome, I think. Danny Hilton thought he was offside. He got a lucky break off the centre half. It's so noisy down there. You can't hear the whistle, you can't hear anything, but it's important that we have a decent start, and we have.
And here is McDonald into Roof on the halfway line. Pierre with him once more, but Roof falls over, gets up, then he's hacked down. That's a bit agricultural, isn't it, in the end? And it's a free kick to Oxford on the halfway line. If you can't stop Roof, just clip his ankles, appears to be the centre-half's decision then, and it's a free kick to Oxford.
I think they may have watched the cup final where Roof got actually kicked in the first 20 minutes. He's better than that, he's fine. He'll get up and dust himself off and go and score.
Shea Dunkley to take this one. Square to John Joe Kenny, young man on loan from Everton. Poor ball forward, hacked away, and it goes in the end down the left-hand side for Wycombe, but Dunkley is there, and so too now Lundstrom. Little left foot pass into the channel for Roof to give charge to. Stewart goes with him, and Roof almost picks his pocket, then hurdles the ad boards into the crowd. He's okay, that's the main thing, and it's a throw into Wycombe.
Lively, and Johnny Lundstrom's had a couple of passes. You know, he's looking to thread things in between full-backs and centre-halves. Can I just say, we're 4 minutes gone, and my voice has gone. So
your voice had gone out on the pitch at the start. We could hear it, Rosie. Well, we couldn't hear it at one point. As Wycombe get the ball to the far side to Jason McCarthy. Bit of pressure on McCarthy, but he does well to get the ball forward. Oxford just funneling back into a 4-4-2 lineup. And Wycombe putting some pressure on the right edge of their penalty area. Lay it to the edge of the box. Chance to shoot from distance if they can square it. Here comes the shot, and it's pretty poor, it has to be said. Danny Rowe, the man who struck it. And it's, well, row B. So weak was it, didn't even get as far as row C or D. Just trickles into the Oxford fans behind that goal, of which, of course, there are plenty. Replica shirts in force. I've seen several from the glory years of 86, several from the promotion years of 96, none from 2006. We'll brush over that particular game, I think, on this particular day. This, though, could be another year ending in 6 that comes with it glory for Oxford United.
Decent atmosphere, honestly, Nathan. Sorry, Danny Hilton gives away a free kick against a big centre half.
It's Pierre.
He's not happy.
No, Pierre's up on his feet, haven't been poleaxed. Now he's gone face to face with Danny Hilton. And don't be surprised to see Wycombe do this from time to time either, particularly on Danny Hilton. Try and wind him up on the big occasion. Hilton is a different player to this time last year, though. I think he's a lot calmer, relatively speaking, for Danny Hilton. And Pierre, it was, to say, he was initially on his knees, clutching his face, and suddenly he leapt up like some sort of springboard champion and went face to face with Danny Hilton.
Because I think Danny's offered him the handshake and he's blanked him. Here we go, game on!
If we've got anybody that's got any oxygen or air for Rose in the next few minutes, we may need it, please.
Still kicking off out there between those two. Danny's laughing at him now, just make sure he doesn't score, Danny.
Focus for Oxford United, on the field and off it. Individual battles can be won, but mustn't overstep the mark. As Alsop plays a long ball into the Oxford penalty area. Dunkley climbs and heads towards McDonald. Back into the mix it comes. Here's Hayes, the Wycombe skipper, over his head. Jake Wright heads clear. Roof can't get a challenge in. Breaks to the near side now, and a chance for them to get a cross in once more, but Maguire is there to pick the pocket of McCarthy and circle him into the challenge. Breaks to John Barty on the far side, playing on the left. We thought he might go right, but he's gone to the left, John Barty. He's got a goal here in the past for Cheltenham, of course. And it's out of play for a throw-in to Wycombe, midway inside the Oxford half. It's goalless after 7 minutes on BBC Radio Oxford Sport.
Wow, is that only 7 minutes gone, Nathan? It's going to be a ridiculous afternoon.
Plenty of time.
But we've started well, though. You know, we've closed the ball down where we need to stop the supply.
Yeah, lots more to enjoy yet, or endure, depending on. John Barty, trickery, ball down the line. Kenny has to go across and close that space and does. Another throw to Wycombe, and Michael Apton off the bench for the first time. Pretty imposing figure himself. Talk about the big goalkeeper. As the ball is clipped into the Oxford penalty area, headed clear to Roof, down to McDonald. McDonald heading for the far side and playing off of John Barty, but it stays in play. Headed forward now, and Harriman has to nod the ball back out to John Barty. He's playing a long way forward, back to Harriman. Left edge of the Oxford penalty area. A sea of yellow behind that goal. Challenge from Kenny was a good one. Plays it off of the Wycombe man and wins a goal kick, and that is very sound defending from the young man on loan from Everton.
I'm so glad that we're kicking towards the fence end first half. For me, that means so much to go into it second half. Obviously, depending score, but the atmosphere here is just electric. The players have started well. We knew Wycombe were going to come out of the traps. They have it up to a point, but we've got focused. You're right. We've got to make sure that we get them turned early on if we can, and just get the game stretched a little bit more.
Hilton and Roof combining, and now Hilton in behind, 25 yards from goal, into the penalty area. It's a bit bumble-footed, but he gets his shot away, and it's just wide of the right hand upright. And for the second time this afternoon, Danny Hilton comes close, just close to breaking the deadlock.
That's two close ones. Referees, by the way, have played advantage so well. Kamal Roof has been dragged back by Pierre once again. And I'm thinking, will he give it? I'll tell you what, Danny Hilton's had a little touch, dragged it past the post. Great effort.
Well, the Wycombe bench are appealing for free kicks against Roof and Hilton on that. They're going to get in the referee and the assistant's ears. That's no surprise. But Danny Hilton never quite got under control, did he? He was a little bit bumble-footed all the time, but he still got his shot away. As Ruffles heads the ball away, I think we can bring you news of a goal elsewhere.
To Ross Heaton at the Mem.
Yeah, it's a surprise here. It's Dagenham who've taken the lead. Matty Cash, right-footed strike inside the penalty area, headed on by Christian Deutsch. It shocked this capacity crowd here at the Memorial Stadium. It's Dagenham who lead by 1-0.
So that's a big goal elsewhere, and it might filter through here in a second, I think, as Wycombe win a free kick just outside the centre circle, attacking those Oxford fans. So 1-0, Dagenham leading at Bristol Rovers. 0-0 here. As we go into the 10th minute, things may yet change. And if you're biting fingernails, by the way, I reckon that's the first one down. 10 minutes gone, you can put the first nail down and move to the next finger. As the ball is played into the penalty area by Wycombe. Ball into the penalty area, 6 yards out, bit of a scuffle. Shot comes in, it's over the crossbar. United, no matter what's going on elsewhere, have to do their job here. And that ball into the penalty area just causing the first concern of the afternoon for United's defence.
Seeing a Wycombe player stood on his own in the area was a bit worrying. He's launched it back in, and Benji at first was going to come, decided to stay at home. The right decision, Benji.
Spoke to him after the game last week at Carlisle. He was telling us you've got to play this game on its merit. You've got to pick when to come. You can't come for everything. As you say, he looked, he thought, he made a decision. As Hilton this time is adjudged to have fouled the centre-half. It's not Pierre, this time it's Stewart, and he gives him a shove in the back. It's not a punch, it's a shove, I think. But neither centre-half have taken an early liking to Danny Hilton here from the Wycombe point of view.
They're playing the referee, and the skipper's having a word with the ref. Danny jumps with his arms up high. It's not they're saying at his elbow, and Danny said, no, when you jump, you have to have your arms up. Not the referee would know that, he's never played the game in his life.
In the end, the injury is more a leg one as well, as Hilton came down onto Stewart.
It's an end-of-season game. It's all to play for. Does he honestly think, if Stewart actually picks the other centre-half, does he honestly think that Danny Hilton's going to let him win every header?
Allsop, long ball, the Wycombe keeper into the Oxford area. Hayes gets a touch, but it's a poor one, and it's behind for a goal kick. And it's 0-0 after 11 minutes here at the Kassam Stadium.
I'm just looking at Danny and Stewart. Danny's just saying, listen, I didn't mean to kick you, but you'll know it when I do, or when I nutmeg and score from 30 yards. Hey, the boys know they're in the game.
The chant from the Oxford fans, Rosie, is 1-0 to the Dagenham. So if you're any doubt if the players might know scores elsewhere, those that are tuned into the crowd that can't block it out might just know, as Hilton beats Pierre in the air once more and flicks it to the far side. John Barty slams it long, and the ball runs through to Benji Buckell.
But you and I and everybody knows in the crowd that Rovers will come back and win that 3-1 with Matty Taylor's 2 goals. It's what we do here, 100%.
Another goal to tell you about at Bristol to Ross Heaton.
Yeah, it's an equaliser for the home side. Billy Bowden's mazy slalom right run inside the penalty area, and he's side-footed it home past the Dagenham keeper, Mark Cousins. It's 1-1.
Ross, thank you. So that didn't last long, did it?
Told you.
We did mention there may be a twist or turn or two this afternoon. Back to as you were. Yeah, calm, good. Here's Circum for Oxford. He's caught with a late one as he plays it forward. Play on, says Keith Stroud. The ball goes from Oxford, throw in far side. Oxford having plenty of possession so far. They've started in a reasonable lick. Just a couple of aerial balls into the Oxford box that have had Messrs Wright, Dunkley and Buckell having to do a bit of work. And here's Kenny getting it forward. Poor ball though, headed clear. Back it comes from Kenny once more, and again Wycombe clear their lines. Oxford have got his pretty poor home record, of course, just 1 win in 10 against Wycombe Wanderers, but records are there to be broken, and Oxford have broken plenty of records this season. You've got the 2 best League 2 defences, of course, here as well, going head to head. Oxford top, Wycombe second, as John Barty gets forward. Left edge of the Oxford penalty area. Not a lot of support, so he has to go back in the end to Aaron Pierre. Whips a left-footed ball, good ball into the air from the centre half, and Bukel comes and takes well. And bowls out to Chris Maguire, who's had a super few games for Oxford amongst the goals, and he's got a ball onto Roof in the middle, and he looks for him, and it just is a bit away from Roof. Roof had come inside, and the ball went round the outside, and it runs through to the Wycombe keeper, and it's 0-0.
Can I just say, Nathan, that Wycombe are committing a few boys forward. When we do catch the ball at the back and deliver out, and Chris Maguire gets us running around, I tell you what, we were breaking, we were like 4 against 4. So come on, boys, there's plenty of space out there.
Maguire looking for Hilton, who's gone right and the ball's gone left. And Pierre has picked it up. And Wycombe to the near side. And it's good, actually, if Wycombe do get some men forward, because we know how Oxford can play on the break. We expected a big blue bus parked up. Hasn't happened just yet, and that might play into Oxford's hand as Wright shanks a clearance out of play for a Wycombe throw.
I'd like to see what they do when Danny Hilton gets into the area, because every time he goes forward now, they are manhandling him. They're getting hold of him and holding him back. We have to make sure that get him in the area, let him see what they do then.
Great support again, great noise inside the Kassam Stadium as Bean gets on his bike, and across comes Ruffles with the challenge. Another throw. Wycombe have gained 10 yards or so on the near side. They're right. Quarter of an hour gone. Oxfordshire sports leader. The big games, all the games live with us, and what has been a memorable season thus far. As Wycombe waste their throw, will it lead to a memorable end? 0-0.
It's decent here. It's got to make sure that we continue the pressure when we haven't got the ball, and when we have got the ball, that we break early. That's the game plan. It's got to be done. We've done it all season.
Ruffles volleys forward. Lundstrom, goes into the header. Breaks in the end to Hayes. Tries some trickery. Wright's there. Clears towards the halfway line. And Hilton puts a bit of pressure on. And the defender, Stewart, does really well in the end and gets the ball up to Hayes once more. Good layoff by him. Through the midfield they come now with McGinn to the near side, and on the overlap a chance for McCartney to cross. Gets into the penalty area, and well, this time Bukel punches clear, and it does really well because it finds Sercombe and he finds Maguire, and Oxford are racing forward. They've got bodies on the charge here. Not a great ball, but Sercombe tries to make it into one, and Pierre hacks it away, and it's a throw to Oxford. Wasn't the best ball from Maguire, but you're quite right, Rosie. When they break, Wycombe is leaving big holes for Oxford to exploit.
Yeah, saw that in the last attack and the one before that. So for me, I'll tell you what, we just got to make sure that we're patient.
Ruffles with a throw to Roof, back to Ruffles, up to Hilton. He collides with Pierre once more. McCarthy heads it clear. Back it comes to Hilton. It'll flick round the corner looking for Roof. Doesn't quite work out. Wycombe clear the danger. And Kenny says just let the ball run and we'll have a throw in. Bit of calmness from the young man. 0-0 the score. 1-1 that Rovers Dagenham game we just heard, of course. And McDonald for Oxford now. Pressured out by 2. Wins a throw in. Wants to do it quickly, but he's stopped from doing so by Saido John Barty. Little naughty, but they take it anyway. Maguire. Ambitious volley just over the crossbar. It almost tickles the roof of the net. A little bit of quality there from Chris Maguire over the crossbar. Still 0-0.
16 minutes gone. The crowd need that, just every now and again we get something on target or something just off target, a little bit of special stuff going on. And at the end of the day, the crowd will react. And that's a 30-yard from an angle, dipping volley. He's run from the left-hand side to receive the throw from Alex McDonald on the right. The movement that we've got in the front four has been exceptional, and that'll confuse everybody.
Long ball forward, and Bukel has to come, and he collides with the Wycombe man, but he gets the ball first. It's well played, Bukel. He goes down holding his back. Ruffles clears, and that'll mean treatment now, certainly for Benji Bukel. The Wycombe man is back on his feet. Bukel came a long way to the edge of the area. He had to get it right. He had to get the ball first. He did. He took a tumble. He's back on his feet, and in the end we'll go with probably a drop ball, but a little drinks break as well for both sides.
Just looking at the boys on the back four. By the way, there's teaming down here now, and the boys are taking a bit of a break. It's warm. Back four and having a little chat. Jake's having a little chat with Shay. Just having a chat with Josh. Stay with your man. Just be careful, people. He's not a natural left back, Josh. but he's a quality player and he knows what he needs to do. Can I just say, Benji, spot on.
Very good goalkeeping by Benji Bakel. Those who made the makeshift vantage points from cars are wishing they bought some kind of tarpaulin. Actually, no, they're not. They just don't care. They're seeing Oxford United, and that's all that matters to them. Just hope it's their car. There we are.
I was going to park my car by the fence. I went, didn't. I wouldn't have seen over the top of my Mini anyway, but anyway.
Danny Hilton will return the drop ball with a little touch of interest. Into touch for a throw-in. That's, yeah, okay. Although that might go back to the goalkeeper, but it's a derby. It's a game of utter importance for Oxford United. Derby at Wycombe, rather, in terms of a derby win. They'd like to win, but it's not the end of their season if they do or don't. Their season's been over for a couple of weeks as a pretty lacklustre end to their campaign. This, though, would send their fans home happy for the summer break. A win here as they play the ball into the Oxford penalty area. Jake Wright has to go back with Hayes and clears well to Maguire, left-hand side. Overhead kick from him, but it will drop in midfield and be picked up pretty easily by Danny Rowe. Rowe to the near side now to McCarthy. The right back's got forward, evades a challenger Maguire, who slips on the greasy top as he tries to get up. McCarthy still got it. He and Hayes exchange passes. 3 Oxford players taken out by that. And then the cross in from McCarthy, and Dunkley and Kenny between them. McDonald get the ball clear. Back it comes from Hayes. That's ambitious. Over the bar. Goal kick, and it's still 0-0 as we head towards the 19th minute. Time to start thinking about moving to that next fingernail now. I'll make it 1 fingernail per 10 minutes this afternoon, including additional time.
Can you start biting yours instead of mine now, please?
0-0 at the Kassam Stadium. It may be enough, depending what happens elsewhere.
No, it's not enough. At the end of the day, we need to get a couple ahead just for the sake of fingernails, hearts.
Sanity. Good header by Pierre from Bakel's goal kick. Equally good header from Dunkley heading it forward. Roof beaten to the ball. Ruffles will have to get this one clear and does. Young man playing at left back this afternoon acquitted himself pretty well so far as Oxford put the ball out of play and Gareth Ainsworth just traps it back to the Wycombe man McCarthy. 0-0, 20 minutes gone. Throw in down this near side, flicked into the Oxford penalty area, hits Lundstrom. Wright says to Bakel, "Are you going to come?" He says no, so Wright clears. Ruffles keeps it alive and then clears right-footed up to halfway. Roof under pressure. That might be a foul. Play on, says the referee. McCarthy plays a long ball forward for Wycombe. Hayes again the target. Out of play, Oxford United throw.
Better defending from Josh Ruffles. He's found his gauge now. He knows where he is. Jake will be talking to him for all the game. Him and Chris Maguire down the left-hand side. Obviously a new relationship going on there. But at the end of the day, you've got experienced players, and no, it's better. He's tucked in a little bit tighter now, Josh.
Hilton flicks on. Roof claims and then tries to get away from his man. The referee looks to his assistant, who didn't really know, and the flag goes the Wycombe way, which is the correct decision. Throw in to the chairboys as Oxford United warm up a few of their subs. O'Dowd, Roberts, Bowery, all three have got the sort of pace that could well be useful later in the day. Pace and direct play. Maybe the order of the day later. Right now, probably pretty much what Michael Atherton expected as Wycombe force another throw in. 0-0. Oxford have come the closest, twice through Danny Hilton. First from a corner, he diverted wide, and then when he raced into the penalty area and dragged his shot past the post. Now it's George Waring's turn to warm up for Oxford United. He'd offer something different if necessary, the aerial presence. Here's Bean for the home side though, for the away side, sorry, out to the far side to John Barty. It's a poor one, it's a has-been from Bean, and it's out of play for a throw to Oxford. And McDonald takes it quickly, Rosie, hurling it forward for Hilton to chase, and Pierre slips. Hilton into the penalty area, he's got Roof with him, still going. Challenge comes in, it's going to break back to Roof, edge of the penalty area, turns in the box. The ball alive right on the goal line. He goes down, nothing doing there. He's got the ball between his knees, he's back up again, holding the player off. Roof still in possession, and that's going to go in the end for a goal kick-off. Kemar Roof, I think that's the right decision, and United there all around the ground sense this was the moment, and it just fizzled out. 0-0.
Yeah, Pierre and Stewart, two big centre halves, and for me, I'm looking, you're going to get it down and run them. He slipped over Pierre, doesn't like to grease the surface, and he's scared of Hilt. He's scared of Hilt's ability, and up in the air, I think it's going to be Pierre all day. But when you get it down amongst the feet in the area, you got to believe in Hilton.
The floodlights are just popping into life on the far side. It's gone that overcast here. That's not a metaphor, as the storm clouds really have gathered. There's Allsop with a long goal kick for Wycombe. Lundstrom heads it forward. Again, Hilton will chase, and again he collides. Ainsworth appealing for a foul. Not on your Nelly, Mr. Ainsworth. And here is Circum picking the ball up just in front of Ainsworth for an Oxford throw-in. He manages like he's still a player. He heads every ball, he wins every tackle, he contests every decision, Gareth Ainsworth. He is not everyone's cup of tea, but he's done a reasonable job at Wycombe. As the Oxford fans strike at the band once more, Maguire is upended, play on, says Mr. Stroud. And now the ball is in the Wycombe midfield. They work it to the near side to Thompson. He goes for a 1-2. It's cleared away by Jake Wright. I don't think the first half of the first half has ever gone any quicker for the commentaries. It's already a quarter of the way through this vital afternoon at the Kassam Stadium. Right now, it's all square in the race for promotion. Oxford 0, Wycombe 0. You're right, Jerome.
I tell you what, I think in some ways I wouldn't necessarily agree about the how quickly it's gone. I think it will start to get more rapid. Also, it's been quite a decent game of football, this, in the circumstances. 0-0 here, 1-1 between Bristol Rovers and Dagenham, 0-0 Accrington against Stevenage. We'll keep you right up to date on all the games. Here's Hilton laying the ball off to Kemar Roof, and Roof trying to get the return ball through. They're playing quite a high line, and Oxford United threatening to breach that. Here's McDonald now, runners to his right, the yellow arrows are up and running. Hilton into the penalty area, can he get a shot off? Tries to get away, bundled over, referee has a look at it and says play on. Circum, it could run to him, it could run to Maguire, the two rather look at one another, and Wycombe scramble the ball clear. That was half a shout, still the danger not completely averted, it is now, as it's hacked out of play for a throw-in.
Well,
that was a shout, Rosie.
It was a shout. He's got his arms all over him, and they say once you get it in the air with Hiltz and Roofy, they're going to back into you. Defenders cannot try and nick the ball, and if you get contact to go down, there will be a penalty in this game today. Danny's got a poke in the eye, obviously. That's why he's holding his shin pad. He's going to say, listen, referee, he's dragged me down. Maybe the fist on the far side in front of Wycombe has got to be a little bit stronger. I
think this might be a blood injury for Danny Hilton. He could possibly do with a breather because he has worked his tail off so far. But yeah, there's blood on the side of Danny Hilton's head, and United can't deal with him to be off the pitch for more than the minimum.
So to be fair, he's not kicked himself or hit himself in the eye. Someone's done that to him.
I wonder if that's in the back of a referee's mind, as Oxford don't really use the throw-in well, and they've given possession back to Ryan Alsop. And under normal circumstances, Danny Hilton would be forcing Alsop to kick from hand to get the game going again. But actually here, Oxford United are probably reasonably happy for him to dally a little bit, because Hilton's still off the pitch getting the blood shirt. Ball pumped forward as the rain teams down now here at the Kassam Stadium. Oxford nick it with Maguire. They're momentarily down to 10 men. Oh, the flag went up against Roof there, and Roof was looking right along the line, and if the benefit of the doubt should go to the forward, the linesman got it wrong.
I think the linesman's got it right. I think he's 2 foot offside. As a centre half, for me, he has run with Roofy, but if that was me, I'd just stand still to make it bleedingly obvious that he's going to be 5 yards offside. It is absolutely hammering down. I think I've left the washing out as well. But
they won't need the sprinklers on at half time anyway.
Well, I'll be out there no matter what in this lovely brown suit of mine. But
you slip over, it's going to get more brown.
It's going to be Chris Maguire's live, isn't he?
20 minutes before half-time, Alex McDonald with a header. Haven't seen much of him, have we, in the game so far?
Or Chris Maguire, to be fair. He's growing into the game now, Chris Maguire.
How will the Oxford players feel about this rain?
Fine, zip it around. Well, we always have it anyway.
The Oxford fans have lost their rag about the time wasting from Wycombe, but given the tempo Oxford are playing at, I don't think the Oxford player is going to be too unhappy about it. Throw in on the far side of the field, one between them by McDonald and Circum. Now a little bit of a kick of the ball away there, and Hayes almost tries to do it as well. The referee's got to be right on top of this, but the Oxford fans and players have got to not get niggled by it.
Exactly. I've never seen, honestly, I'm sure that the pitch is in great condition, but hopefully with this downpour it won't lay on top too much.
Because that will hold the ball up rather than getting it zip around.
Well, I'm on about just flooding around.
The ball is zipped into Oxford's penalty area, well read by Buchal, who's bowled it out quickly to the near side of the field to Josh Ruffles. Tries to get it out of his feet early to Hilton, lays it off. Maguire, little twinkle toes in the centre circle, and he's got 4 players ahead of him. Carries the ball through the midfield, and he's still going to the edge of the penalty area. Wycombe backing off. He drills it across the face of goal, but neither a shot nor a cross, and the keeper Allsop's able to pounce on it.
Great skill, Chris Maguire coming out from the left-hand side. Twinkle toes in the middle. For me, he takes like the 20-yard run towards their goal. With the weather like it is, he has got to lash that from 20 yards, 30 yards out, Jerome.
Lashing down here at the Kassam Stadium, really heavy rain as the ball's pumped to the edge of Oxford's penalty area. Well won by Shay Dunkley, but miscontrolled by Alex McDonald, and Wycombe will come again with Rowe out to the far side of the field to John Barty. This is like Wycombe are playing this like a team in a Mexico World Cup, just trying to run the clock down, keep it as low key as possible. Challenge comes in from Kemar Roof. He wants the throw in, but it's gone the other way. Throw into Wycombe. Rosie.
Yeah, they are going to slow it down, but we've got to make sure that we're doing what we're doing, Jerome. When we haven't got the ball, make sure we don't give them an inch, a yard, like anywhere near our area. Looking at Shay, he's on the game. Jake's on his shoulder. Josh is now on Jake's shoulder. John Joe's always there. I want to see midfield now. I want to see our midfield now.
They'll flick off the head of the Wycombe man. Referee's given a throw into Oxford United on the far side of the field. Some of the Premier League scores earlier on, didn't mention it. Manchester United won 1-0 at relegation-haunted Norwich. Chelsea are 1 up against Sunderland, 0-0 Villa Newcastle in a big game towards the bottom of the Premier League. 0-0 here as Oxford win a free kick. Do they? Yeah, a little tug on Kemar Roof, still deep in his own half. The Oxford United top scorer hasn't really been presented with an opportunity so far.
No, well, Danny Hilton has twice and just pulled it wide of the post a couple of times. But here comes Jake out with the ball.
Tries a big long ball forward. Roof forces a header from Pierre and it's carried on the run, but the zippy surface now means the touch that's for Circum that probably would have sat nicely for him earlier hasn't done now. Hilton strong-armed off it. Play on, says the referee. Maguire needs a little bit of support, uses Ruffles as a decoy and wins a throw-in on the halfway line near side of the field. 0-0, 16 minutes before half-time. And I tell you what, those fans on the roof of a van overlooking the open end of the Kassam Stadium, I tell you what, I could. Oh, one slipped off, and the rest could be in danger of drowning at the moment. Here's Maguire. Opens up a ball to the far side of the field. I think for a moment John Joe Kenny thought he wasn't going to get there, but Wycombe players backing off so much, he did. Into the feet of Roof, right edge of the penalty area. Drills it back. Hilton! Oh, he's 3 times he's put the ball just the wrong side of that near post.
What's a great ball in from Roofy. Great run as well. John Joe's found Kamar. He's whipped it in on the angle, and Roofy's done what all good forwards do. Get in front of the centre half, the right back, and he's connected so well. Any other day would have gone inside the post, but I'll tell you what, that's decent. Referee's having a right go at the keeper.
No more, he says, and now he's got to take action. Next time he's got to take action. Will Keith Stroud be strong enough? Michael Appleton was asking for a strong referee today. Good strong challenge by Josh Ruffles. Wins the header, but John Barty will get it down and hoist it forward. And United allow it to bounce, but because of the rain, it will bounce through to Benji Buchel away to our right. I tell you what, Danny Hilton on another day might have had a hat-trick. All 3 chances have fallen to him, and all 3 have gone just the wrong side of the near post as we look. Good turn by Kemar Roof. Hilton won't get there. Pierre's volleyed it forward. Dunkley will try and win it without it bouncing. Heads it out of play. Decides discretion's the better part of valour.
Again, standing strong, Shay Dunkley. And so that relationship that we've got in that back 4, no matter who we've got playing in that back 4, whether it's Skazi, has been exceptional. We work hard at that, being on each other's shoulders.
Third of the way through the afternoon, and everybody still all square. Bristol Rovers 1, Dagenham 1. Accrington 0, Stevenage 0. Here, 0-0 as well. Lots is going to change, I think, in the next hour of football. John Barty down the line. Challenge comes in from McDonald, who's playing not a very expansive game at the moment. He's trying to look after John Joe Kenny just for the moment, rather than offer too much as an attacking force.
The rain's not as bad now, it's only torrential.
Oh, that's not a great touch by Lundstrom. He's trying to stop it going out for a corner. Not entirely sure what he was trying to do there. Some fancy sort of flick that has ended up with a corner to Wycombe, and that is not what Oxford United need, because they're dangerous from set pieces.
First corner of the game.
For Wycombe.
Yeah, and I think we have to make sure that we defend this right. We've got everybody back in the yellow, everybody in the area. Wycombe are leaving 1 back, or 1.5, 2 back.
The big guns like Stewart and Pierre have gone forward. Oxford have brought everyone back. Near post header from Danny Hilton clears his lines. Finds Maguire, and can Oxford spring a counter-attack? Maguire now looks up, and he's only really got Roof to aim at. McDonald joins the attack, and United could break forward here down the right-hand side. Circum making a lung-busting run into the box. The cross won't find Roof. And now Circum's going to have to scamper back to keep it alive, and he has done. Wycombe have got players back in position, but Oxford have got possession. Lundstrom to the right to Maguire, 30 yards from goal, hits a dinker! Oh, it bounces. It's what he was looking for, to bounce it and fizz it just in front of the keeper. It did dink, but it's gone wide of this near post again.
Well, you know for a fact that Maguire's going to get it. He's going to smash it from there. Totally the right thing to do. See the commitment in the challenges from Liam Circum and the break from Alex McDonald. That is what we are all about. That's what we've been about all season, Jerome. Quick fire break from a good bit of defending.
I don't know about the players, I'm knackered now.
Oh, I'm getting cramp here.
Here's Maguire and Ruffles and Circum, and is the ball going out near side of the field? It is, and Oxford want to throw in 10 yards inside their own half. Goalless after 33 minutes of this breathless game.
As you say, it's not been a partner bus and let's sort of try and break them down. It's been a decent game of Div 2 football.
So steamy here now, it's almost got a feel of a pre-season game about it. That's the feel in terms of the weather. Nothing else is pre-season about this. As Kenny gets the ball out of his feet and finds Hilton. United allow Maguire to take over through the Roof. Heavy touch from Kemar Roof. Can Lundstrom win it back? He can. Finds Maguire again. Wycombe backing off him. He's brought down 30 yards from goal, and that is a free kick to Oxford United. And the first yellow card of the afternoon is shown to Danny Rowe of Wycombe. Keep this free kick down.
Keep it down. It's far enough out. What's that, 25, 30 yards out?
You've got to keep it down for two reasons. One, it could fizz off the pitch and cause keeper concern. It also, if it goes over the bar, might knock some lads off the top of a van.
Health and safety, which is the most important thing. Don't worry about the goal, just don't get hit the coconut shy behind the fence.
11 minutes before half-time. Oxford with a free kick. Chris Maguire behind it.
And it's rebounds as well, by the way. It's not just the keeper making a save or whatever. It's the rebounds you need. He ain't going to catch it. He ain't going to grasp it with the surface like it is. Come on, Chrissy boy.
Maguire with his right boot, 4 in the Wycombe wall. He keeps it low, and it's gone wide of this near post, becoming the story of the first half.
5 times.
Wycombe take an early goal kick. Ruffles has headed it down. Wycombe players running at United, but over the head of Circum, and needed a good header from Stewart. Lundstrom almost committed to it, decided not to, and now can make a more orthodox challenge that forces a back pass to Ryan Alsop, the Wycombe goalkeeper.
Don't know why the keeper kicked so early. I mean, you'd have thought that he'd have just waited, but if he's kicked early, obviously could have seen the 2v1.
Oxford win the header. Ruffles has nodded it back to Benji Bukial away to our right, 10 minutes before half-time. Oxford United 0, Wycombe Wanderers 0 on BBC Radio Oxford Sport. Good afternoon to you. How are you coping, wherever you are in the world? Forward it goes from Bukial. The rain starts to fall again. Hilton beaten in the air, but it breaks to Circum, who's got runners to his left, notably Ruffles. Forward it goes to Hilton, who was a little bit ponderous, and Bean gets it off Circum, and it's going to be thrown to Wycombe on the halfway line, near side Wycombe's right.
Tempo's good. I'm loving the atmosphere here. We just need another couple of chances to go that end. Even if we don't score, we get the crowd back up on their feet again.
10 before the break. Wycombe taking a break before launching it down the line. McCarthy, I think, has nicked too many yards, and the throw-in goes Oxford United's way.
Derek Fazackley won that for us. He had a word with the referee. Arms up in the air, Derek, with his lovely lily white legs.
He is from Preston. Here's Roof. Could find some space for Circum, who does so for Ruffles, who goes back to Jake Wright, who probably didn't want it and almost gets robbed, but he gets it forward, headed away by Stewart. Can Lundstrom pick up the ball in the midfield? Was there a bit of a push? Ainsworth thought it was. Roof can't get there. Long ball forward, and it needs Buckhow to come a long way, and it will run into his penalty area. And then he slips, and we saw that against Luton at that end of the ground. About this stage of the game as well. No more, please.
I think he was looking to throw the ball out, but once you got it in your hands, Benji, grab it.
Forward it goes to Roof, who's wrestled to the ground. Play on, says the referee. Lundstrom doesn't win it. Wright does. Good headed pass to Maguire, who gets it down and cushions it off to Lundstrom. Hilton to his left. And Circum continues his run. Here's Maguire again. Still Circum available. Little round the corner ball to Maguire, hugging the left touchline. 3 in the penalty area for the Scotsman, who's been forced back a little bit. Bean gets in a challenge. Lundstrom takes over for United. Down the line he goes, looking for Ruffles. The pass is cut out, and Hayes now has it for Wycombe just inside his own half. Tries to lay it off to Bean. I think off the ball, Hayes was flattened. I didn't see it, says the referee. And Oxford come forward with Maguire and now Circum, 25 yards from goal, to the edge of the penalty area, rides a challenge or two, almost gets tackled by Roof, lays it off to Alex McDonald. 3 in the box for a cross. Roof rather took it away from Hilton. Circum now, turn in the box, runs into trouble, but still the danger's not over. Roof pulls away from Hilton, whose cross is blocked, corner to Oxford.
Roof is fuming with Danny Hilton. I don't think Danny could actually do anything. He couldn't pick anybody out. So I think they just need to calm down a bit, boys. That's fine. Love the passion.
Love the noise. Oxford are doing everything in this game but score so far. 7 minutes before half-time, they have a corner. They work it short. McDonald to Maguire. The 2 Max on the right edge of the penalty area. Now it's worked to Lundstrom, 25 yards from goal. Left-footed shot deflects. Goal kick. Came off right.
Not bad, trying to do something different. You know, we've swung it in a couple of times and the big defenders have done well, so let's change the delivery. Yeah, not bad. Just like to get a bit of better end product.
Goalkeeper pretended he was going to take a quick goal kick. Now he'll take his time over it. The referee will give him a little bit of leniency. Ryan Alsop, before it's played forward. Little dance and then a kick to the near side of the field. 0-0 on BBC Radio Oxford. Ruffles wins it in the air. Circum helps it on. Headed forward by McCarthy. Ruffles again with a powerful header, but he's been dragged out of position a little bit here, and Hayes plays it in field. And this could be trouble for Oxford as they work it to some space on the right-hand side for Saido John-Barty. Saido John-Barty takes on and beats McDonald. Infield it goes now to Rowe. Good win by Circum, but only momentarily. Back into the Oxford box. Lundstrom with any sort of header that might do. And then McDonald wins a throw-in. A little bit fortunate, but it was enough.
Well, you know, dealing with everything that's been done. John-Barty can play either left or right with his feet. He's playing left back at the moment, but I'll tell you what, he's got a decent right foot on him as well, so I have to make sure that we don't send him inside too often.
John Joe Kenny whips it forward. Hilton trying to put pressure on Pierre, who's trying to get away from him and from Roof. And Roof momentarily wins it back, still snapping at the heels, and the ball's pumped through into Oxford United's penalty area by a Wycombe man who was running out of room. He's shouting at the assistant referee for it not being a foul. It's with Oxford's keeper Benji Bukial, who bowls it out to Shea Dunkley. Big pump forward from Dunkley that will skew out of play. It's not the Oxford way this season, and perhaps we've seen there why it isn't. Out of play for a throw into Wycombe.
Well, Wycombe are letting Shea have the ball more than Jake, obviously, that's the way it is. But for me, he's done great, and he's been solid, and he's been different class. And for me, he's been our star man so far.
Hayes lays off the throw-in, back to John-Barty. And again, a slip from an Oxford player, it's Lundstrom. And Wycombe work it back to John-Barty as some lightning strikes at the Kassam Stadium. Wycombe look to strike on the edge of the penalty area. Dunkley's there to head it clear. Ruffles forward to Hilton. And now Roof trying to take over down the left-hand side. And a foul on Hilton and a free kick to Oxford United.
Whoa, bit of thunder coming in. That's my mum under the table down in Didcot.
She may not be alone this afternoon, and that's not about the weather.
Where is Nick, by the way? Don't tell me he's with her.
Sunderland have equalised against Chelsea, 1-1 in that one in the Premier League, 0-0 here. As the ball is with John Joe Kenny. Forward it goes to Hilton, who's had 3 decent chances, all gone wide. Here's Maguire, who's had 1 decent chance gone wide. Hilton again, and now through to John Joe Kenny, gets to the back of the penalty area, pulls it back towards McDonald, who heads it towards Circum. Could Circum keep it alive? He can. Back to McDonald, left edge of the box. Hilton, there's a man over right side, it's Maguire. Now the shot from Lundstrom, and it's straight at the keeper.
Well, great little one-touch, two-touch football. The little dint far side was quality. The big centre-half went down faking an injury, but he's off the pitch. Stay there, son. He's okay now, obviously.
Shocker.
But great support from everybody here.
Big pump forward there by Alsop. Jake Wright wins it in the air. Maguire runs into 2-man trouble, but it runs to Jake Wright, now to Ruffles, who right-footed again has to dig it out, and he's managed. Hilton inside his own half, lays the ball off, but it won't run to McDonald. John-Barty anticipated better. Left edge of the Oxford penalty area. A little chip into the Oxford box. Wycombe asks for handball. They don't get it. They come again, though, near side of the field with McCarthy, the right-back. He's going to play a big boomer into the penalty area, but he's undercooked it, actually. and it's through to the Oxford goalkeeper, Benji Bukiel. 3 minutes before the break, and it's 0-0.
Well, I think we're looking at
3 minutes before the break.
3 minutes, that's fine. It's keep working hard, boys. Chase down the back passes.
They do. Not least to stop the keeper taking his time. Circum with a header. Hilton can't chase it, but Maguire can. McDonald struggling a little bit to make an impact in this game. He looks like he's, pardon the pun, treading water at the moment, McDonald. And he's normally a bundle of energy.
I think he's had a lot of work to do with John Barty, because he's been going, obviously he's the left back, but I think we've seen him going forward more than Macca. So his defensive duties has been more than usual. But if he can hand him on to Jonjo, and then on the break, that's fine. But then Jonjo will have the left winger as well, so it's a difficult one. 2
minutes before half-time, that look, a foul throw, and the referee spotted it. And it's going to be a throw to Oxford United. Wycombe will try and prevent them taking it quickly, of course. But Oxford have got possession back. McDonald did try and take it quickly, to be fair to Wycombe, and no Oxford player was ready for it. I think they're nervous about what could happen. Now Kemar Roof tries to break into the penalty area. The keeper's come a long way and he's done well there. Good work by Pierre to stick with Roof, and great work from Allsop to come and help out his defender.
Yeah, I think great teamwork from Wycombe there, but I'm telling you now that if that goes again and Roofy has an extra yard on him, he'll have a chance of getting in, you know.
Aaron Pierre, in most people's voting for the League Two Team of the Year. You definitely take him if you're an Oxford United fan. You definitely take him if you're any other League Two club, and maybe a little bit higher. He's been star performer for Wycombe for the second straight season.
Yeah, he's been decent, and he's been solid again today.
Still the thunder rumbles around the Kassam Stadium. Still it's 0-0 as half-time approaches here. Maguire can't win a header. Hayes pretends he's hurt. Play on, says the referee, had a good view of it. He's okay to continue fighting with Ruffles for the football, which tells you all you need to know. Jake Wright now tries to see it out of play, gets a little lucky because of a slip there by Gary Thompson, and Wright has to put it out of play for a Wycombe throw-in.
I think the surface has got a lot to do with decisions and stuff today, but at the moment, fingers crossed, everyone's making the right decision. You have to be so careful. Referee's doing it right with the slipping and sliding. Wycombe have slowed it right down, Jerome.
Stoppage time approaching. They've already got half-time in Bristol. Bristol Rovers 1, Dagenham 1. Wycombe, as half-time approaches, on the front foot at the moment, and I think United have decided they'll take parity at the break.
I think you're right, 1 extra minute.
Who groans at news that there's only 1 minute added. Accrington 0, Stevenage 0 is already a half-time score as well. Wycombe throw the ball in field. John Barty to the edge of the box. Little chest pass. Wycombe with Thompson trying to get a shot off. Lays it back to John Barty, who hoists it into the box. Ruffles gets it clear. Circum doing all he can to help it further clear. McCarthy hoists it back in. Ruffles again with a header. Needs something strong from Jake Wright, and Oxford United might get one last attack here. Jake Wright playing it forward, too strong on the pass. The keepers are out of his penalty area, sweeping up. Shanks it though. 30 seconds of the first half to go. Maguire wins it in the air, hammered up and out of play, and it's the throw to Oxford United, but I'm not sure they'll have be given time to take it. 0-0. I think the referee in these circumstances won't be putting on much beyond the minute they initially added. Ball bounces on the edge of Wycombe's penalty area though, and the flag goes up for Danny Hilton, who was in an offside position momentarily. Wycombe fans behind him say, how about it? And the referee says, half-time. Whistle goes, 0-0 here, Nathan Cooper.
Well, it's okay. It's okay. say, Jerome, because that would mean we can all put our feet up and enjoy the next few weeks and the European Championships and everything else, and think about League One. A long way to go with Oxford United, who kick off and play the ball to the right-hand side to John Joe Kenny. Clips it forward, looking for Kemar Roof. Controls it to Hilton, who's got a shirt back in with a 10 on it now after the first half injury. Roof loses possession, cleared as far as Lundstrom heads it back. Kenny snapping into a challenge once more and winning a throw for Oxford, surely. Yep, just a little conflab between Keith Stroud and his assistant on the near side. It's Adam Matthews, I think, down here in front of us, and it's a throw to Oxford. Kenny will take it, and he just throws it short to Kemar Roof, United's leading goal scorer. Back to McDonald, poor touch from McDonald. The best of balls has to be said either from Kemar Roof, and it's out of play for a throw to Wycombe. Down the line it goes. Glorious, I say glorious sunshine now, but a lot brighter than it was in the first half. Thankfully the rain has stopped. At one point I was worried about a postponement here, but he squeezed that in with the playoffs and everything else if necessary. Never mind. Forward goes McDonald. Game on, and a free kick against McDonald for the challenge on John Barty. McDonald, we know, is a tigerish one. He gives all in every challenge. He's not convinced. Keith Stroud just has a word in the ear of the Oxford United man, and that is a free kick to Wycombe. Liquid's taken on all round us as well. Mentioned to the OUFC Tea ladies for their outstanding work again this season.
11,815 the crowd here today, 1,054 in the away end.
I was about to say for the Tea ladies, the water in the first half was fine, but second half it may be stronger. I think things are getting a little bit edgy. Hope not. Ball into the penalty area, and Bukel has to palm it down. Charles of Wycombe shot in towards 6-yard box. Lundstrom off the line, hits Dunkley and comes back to Lundstrom, and he hammers it down the field, and that's the biggest worry Oxford have faced so far this afternoon. Bukel came out, wasn't convincing, and Wycombe almost profited, but Oxford clear all the way down to the other end, and back comes the heavy artillery again from Wycombe, but Dunkley is there to head clear to Chris Maguire. Looking for a Roof, cleared away by Anthony Stewart, out of play far side, throw to Oxford, and for the first time in this second half, Peter Rhodes-Brown.
Well, it's going to be a lively second half as well as it was first half. Just got to make sure that we start bright, I think, Nathan. The crowd have.
0-0 in this second period as the sunshine does start to peek out. Will it be all yellow come full time? Here's Maguire, so instrumental in recent weeks for Oxford, clipping off of the Wycombe man and forcing a throw-in on the halfway line to the home side. Down the line it goes from Ruffles, steady at left back so far today. Maguire again, right to challenge, tries to win a throw-in, can't do so. Wycombe play it forward, Dunkley challenging from behind. Lundstrom laying it off to Kenny, and Oxford go again. Long ball looking for Hilton. Effervescent Danny Hilton chasing down with Pierre and almost gives him the slip, then tries to win the ball. They appeal for a throw, the Oxford fans. Assistant near side is steadfast. It's Wycombe's ball, it's 0-0.
Clever from Danny Hilton. You never normally hear that in a sentence, but he's gone in and he's gotten shoulder to shoulder with Pierre, and what he's done, he's ducked out of the way, Hilts, and the fella's shoulder bars like Mr. Invisible, but decent break from Oxford United. Keep at it, boys.
Dunkley heads clear. Roof climbs. How much football has he got in his tank after the ankle injury? Wright calls Bukel to come, and he's a little slow, but he comes in the end, grabs the ball, bowls out to Ruffles. Ruffles straining everything to get there and kick the ball in play, and does. Crossing halfway line, playing the ball into Hilton. On the overlap is Ruffles. Good run from the left back into the area. Crosses deflected behind for a corner, and that's the first time we've seen Ruffles do that. It just opened the space up down the left-hand side, and it's a set piece for United. 0-0.
Great break down the left-hand side. I think Ruffles has got to knock that in first time with the willing runners in the area. But we'll take a corner. Chris Maguire, decent set piece. Whipping in with his right foot on the left-hand side.
Here comes the delivery to the near post. It goes away to Roof, who gets some sort of connection. It's going to drift away out of play for a goal kick. It was an acrobatic attempt from Kemar Roof that never really was caught with any conviction, and it was always a difficult skill and angle from where he was. And it stays 0-0.
Stays 0-0. It's going to be an edgy 45, Nathan, we know that. I think the sun's coming out now, but it looks to think we've had all types of weathers here. Thank goodness Nick's not commentating. We've had a big Mr. Fish run now, wouldn't we?
Lundstrom heads clear from midfield. Here is Danny Hilton. twisting and turning, forgot the ball, wins it back, loses it again, and Wycombe play it through, and Jake Wright has to show a turn of speed here to scamper back under pressure from 2, and he will get there, and he tries to see it out and doesn't. It's a throw in the end to Wycombe, and he barks instructions to those in front of him. 0-0 here at the Kassam Stadium.
Yep, there's a lot of people pointing and shouting, but it's all positive. It's not as if they're digging people out. Just want a little bit more from everybody.
A little bit of frustration first half, and Roof and Hilton had a bit of pointy, fingery finger at each other, and it was soon done and dusted. As Wycombe take the throw in, and they play it back to Bean. Bean crosses, and it breaks through the Oxford United back line and bounces towards this near side. Danger not cleared completely. Here's John Barty, left-hand side. McDonald putting the pressure on. John Barty holds him off from a Cheltenham man, then plays the ball into the penalty area. Good ball. Dunkley's got to be strong here against Thompson, and that is a goal kick. And there is a man who maybe in January you thought wasn't really fancied by the manager, might not even be part of the future plans, and now has played himself into one of the first names on the team sheet, and that's why, Dunkley. And then as they take a short goal kick, Buckow, Kenny makes a right mess of it, and they give the ball back to Wycombe. Throw in.
I think Wycombe are letting our fullbacks have the ball from a goal kick, and they are closing down. I think John Jones got caught in a couple of minds there. Just putting the pressure back on our back four with a throw just in front of us here. Wycombe playing right to left.
Bit of noise from the Wycombe fans who've been fairly quiet, although to be fair to them, they've been drowned out by the best part of 10,000 more Oxford fans than they've brought in that crowd of over 11,000. Not a sellout for Wycombe though, of course, because from their point it's not that important. Oxford fans again out-sing them, and now McDonald takes an Oxford throw to Hilton. Hilton is caught in terms of dwelling on the ball, but Oxford win it back with Circum. Action's right side with McDonald, and Maguire's come to this near side too and forced the throw in down towards the corner flag. 0-0.
Roof has been quiet because that's what they've done. They've been tight on him. Let's just make sure that we get a half a yard from him.
Into Maguire, edge of the area, tries to cross, but it break to McDonald, no. Hacked away, I think, by Pierre in the end, out of play. Throw to Oxford, near side. Further back this time from where the last one was taken, a dozen yards or so from the corner flag. And Kenny finds Maguire. Maguire crosses first time near post, and again it's snaffled away by that Wycombe defence. Another throw in, and it's 0-0. Oxford just getting a bit of possession around the 18-yard box now. And here's Maguire, just drifts past the challenge beautifully, cuts back a little Cruyff turn, and then back onto his right foot, and then back onto his left foot. Here comes the cross, looking for Circum. Chests it down, too much to do, and now Lundstrom, and Hilton, and blocked on the 6-yard line, and it's another corner to Oxford.
Unbelievable. Great play, great skills. Hilton's had a strike, and I think it was Stewart that was laying on the floor. He's cleared it with his head, gone for a corner. Great passage of play from Oxford United.
And they thought about going short with the set piece. They think better of it. Dunkley and Wright are in there. Maguire drifts it in. Hilton flicks. Header comes in, and it's Shane Dunkley who breaks the deadlock. The big man with a big goal on the big occasion. Maguire's delivery, Dunkley's header, and Oxford United have taken the lead. And is that League One we see before us? Maybe, just maybe. Oxford 1, Wycombe 0. Shea Dunkley.
Great delivery. Very good delivery. Great header. 1-0. Great celebration, by the way. Oh my God. 1-0 here. He's coming over to see Johnny Mullins. The celebration is Johnny Mullins. There you go, Johnny Mullins.
Well, that was going on. I think that was Mullins was talking about the corner delivery. Pierre has been booked in the midst of all that. There's been a yellow card for Aaron Pierre, who can't believe it. I think he was complaining about something that was going on in the build-up to the corner. No booking for the celebration, and a little bit of a set-to involving Johnny Mullins down pitch side.
Well, it will kick off a little bit because their bench don't like it. We're one up. Don't pick on Johnny Mullins on the bench. He's the wrong man. Wow, massive. Oxford 1 up, 9 minutes gone in the second half. Let's concentrate. Benji Bushell gets the ball in his hands. Do not throw it out. He's thrown it out.
To the near side to John Joe Kenny. Oxford have got 5 players forward here, including Kenny. Into Roof. Roof turns it on to the near side for McDonald. McDonald is headed away for the little Scotsman. Here's Bean in the centre of midfield. And the ball now played out to the far side, and Jason McCarthy. 1-0 Oxford, miscontrol, throw to Oxford. Got to tell you, Oxford United madcap fan Timmy Mallet told me before the game Dunkley will score the winner. He did say in the very last second, but if it turns out to be the winner, we'll all take that, and it's whack-a-day all round for Oxford United. He was certainly in the wide awake club from that delivery from Maguire, and he has scored some vital goals the past few weeks, and most have come from Chris Maguire deliveries. Set pieces, corners, free kicks, dead point delivery, and dead good headers.
Great headers. Listen to that, that is incredible.
Another throw to Oxford, and I go back to what I said about 5 minutes ago. Not even sure Dunkley was in the plans in January particularly, but goodness me, what a back half of the season he's had.
But we know that we've got a long way to go, Nathan.
Yep. Too right. What have Wycombe got in response is the question.
Is it right that I'm going numb from my forehead upwards?
Might be your age.
Not a good sign.
Here is Danny Hilton bustling through into the penalty area, breaks to McDonald, right edge, 4 players in advance of him, including Sercombe. Good challenge coming in midfield there from McGinn, and that's a goal kick, and I think that is right as well from the referee and his assistant, despite the Oxford appeals. It's 1-0 to Oxford United.
I'll tell you what, if Liam Sercombe would have realised there was a player behind him, he could have stood still and got nudged, and that may have well been a pen. Great reaction from when we score the... And he said the winner then, hang on, that one, that we've kept the pace of the game up in their half, so important the next 10 minutes.
Dunkley rises at the right end, the defensive end, to head clear, and then Ruffles gets a good header in too, and now Kemar Roof scrapping and battling, and then Sercombe, and Roof, who's laying down, controls with his bum, picks the ball up with his foot. Sercombe and Roof play it through to Hilton, who races through, and out comes Allsop to clear the ball, and it's headed back from Kenny to the near side to McDonald. Down the line to Hilton. Hilton tries to turn away from Pierre, who does well against both Hilton and McDonald, but Maguire's back in with the challenge. And then Sercombe's won the ball, racing through on goal. Space for Sercombe to shoot, deflection, just wide. It's another corner. United almost doubled their money and just calmed us all down somewhat. Liam Sercombe.
Well, now Wycombe are starting to press and press, but making wrong decisions. So therefore, we've got to keep that going. What an atmosphere, 1-0 Oxford United.
Maguire again to deliver. Dunkley's there, Wright is there. Roof and Hilton around the 6-yard box. McDonald floats around the penalty spot. Lundstrom comes short. Maguire delivers. It's long, looking for Dunkley again, who's got a volley this time across the face of goal. Kept in play by Maguire by the corner flag. Great pass from Dunkley. Back to Maguire. Maguire shoots left-footed from the angle. Comes back to the Scotsman. He's clipped. No penalty, despite the appeals. Wycombe clear. Ruffles comes across to snuff out the danger. Wright still forward, battling. Wycombe play it long. Kenny's got to defend this now under pressure from Harriman, and sees it out despite a shove from Harriman. Throw into Oxford. Rosie?
Well, I've seen him give it, but it's 0-0 he might have done if we hadn't scored just now. But he's got stepped on his ankle. He's not one for going down too easily. He does like to get us Penzo, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's tricky and clever. And it's 1-0 to Oxford. Danny Hilton, who's had a right old ding-dong this afternoon. He's having a shove this time in midfield with Rowe, who's been booked, of course. Rowe wants to keep his arm down here. Danny Rowe. Hilton started all that. Rowe tried to finish it with a bit of pushy.
Oh, I think that's 6 of one and 7 of another.
Maths is always up there, Rosie. Good stuff. Throw in now from Kenny is reversed. Just Hilton. As it happened.
Hilton, no, he's given a foul against Danny Hilton. There's lots going on out there, Nathan, as you well know.
Yeah, assistant spotted it and stuck his flag up. So that's good work from him. And also wants to
Danny, come away, you're not 10 yards.
Yep. Hilton stood over the ball as Ainsworth warms up one of his substitutes. Max Kretschmar will come on at some point. Making a double sub, actually. Hilton's back 10 yards, surely. Allsop's trying to get him booked, and he's got him booked, I think.
John Barty's absolutely hammering the linesman.
And it's John Barty. And now he's gone to Danny, and now he's stopped it.
Danny's not 10, and he's booking Danny Hilton.
Well,
for not being 10 yards away.
On the hour mark, Hilton is booked. John Barty is booked. And I've got to tell you, my 6-year-old stomps around like that when you tell her off the way John Barty went, stamping his foot, banging his hands on his head. It was like a little paddy from a toddler. He wants to calm down. And Danny Hilton's got to be careful now because he's walking the tightrope.
Derek Fazacki has just hammered, I think, Danny Hilton. You go 9.5 yards, Danny, not 7.
even though the rule's 10, yeah? Right, into the area goes the free kick from Wycombe. Canny, great defensive header. Volleyed back in from distance. Chance for Wycombe. Bakel comes out. That's brilliant goalkeeping from the Liechtenstein international. He flew out then.
Wow.
The greasy top helped. He slid in, he grabbed the ball. He could have had his head knocked off. He didn't care. Wycombe man is down. Bakel throws it out quickly. And Oxford, were they going to put it out of play or were they going on the counter-attack? Either way, the ref's going to call it back for the injury to the Wycombe man.
I think Jake's told him to throw it out. And Jake meant throw it out of play. He actually threw it out over near the halfway line, as it were.
A little check what's going on elsewhere in a second. There'll be a couple of double substitutions to be made for Wycombe in a tick as well. They're just checking on their man who's down inside the penalty area. I think it might be Pierre again, the centre half. And Oxford players, a big fist pump there from Scott Daly to Shay Dunkley, the goal scorer, who could be the hero in waiting at this stage for Oxford.
Focus.
Energy bars as well, and drinks being taken on board by United's players. Despite that rain, I mean, Jerome called it. It was almost like tropical in the first half, a stifling heat around the ground as well. Here come the changes, Rosie.
Well, yeah, Jerome's on board with it. I think Thompson's coming off. And it looks like Ugu's coming on. That's the first change, Jerome. So he's got to make sure that we're nice and sharp.
He's a sharp player, looking for a goal or two. And it's also Kretschmar who comes on. Going off, by the way, Stephen McGinn. That's one. Let's quickly go to Bristol Rovers and Ross Heaton.
Remains Bristol Rovers 1, Dagenham 1. 2 more golden chances squandered by Rovers. Rory Gaffney with a low shot blocked and Jake Gosling sliced wide from close range. Pressure continues to mount, but it remains Rovers 1, Dagenham 1.
Quickly to Joel at Accrington.
0-0 here, and the tension rising, as you might imagine. That goal by Dunkley has put the pressure on Accrington, but 0-0 it remains here.
Back underway here, and confirmation of those subs with Nathan.
Yeah, I think it was Gary Thompson who came off to make room for Ugu, and as you mentioned, Jerome McGinn going off, and oncoming Kretschmar. Throw in to Wycombe near side after also a little break in play and a chance for all just to reflect, draw breath and think, as the ball is played into the Oxford penalty area, first of all for Ugu, and it's carried over the line by Benji Bukel as he tries to claim the ball. He claims he was pushed. He may have a case, but maybe he could have been stronger. Either way, it's a corner to Wycombe out of nothing.
Well, I don't like the way that the tide has changed a little bit towards Wycombe since the substitutions and a little bit of fracas with Danny Hilton. It's been a decent corner, an in-swinging corner coming in for Wycombe.
This is about concentration, Rosie, isn't it?
Yep.
That's what it's about. United's just losing a bit of focus. Whipped in from Harriman, good to the far post, good ball, little flicked header goalwards, very, very wide, out of play goal kick, and hopefully now United can just have a little calm down session.
Pierre's been booked, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and Pierre's now, he's just got Shay Dunkley around the throat with his shirt in his hand. Shay's got his hands up and listen, if you want to know how to head the ball in the goal, come and see me after the game, son. I'm sure he didn't. Wow.
He'd like to think he did. Up strikes the Oxford band. There's a few more have joined the vantage points in the car park. They've heard about this, I think, they've come to join the party. That man's brought his own planks to make a little vantage point on that van. We spent the first half knocking him up, but he was up in time for the second half to see Shay Dunkley score. And here's John Joe Kenny, who's had a pretty decent game so far. Played forward to Hilton, flicked on to Roof, onside, volleyed, goalwards, and a very good save to his left by Allsop. Breaks back to Roof, Roof to the far post. Maguire tussling to try and keep the ball alive. So too Liam Sercombe. Sercombe under pressure on the far side, the left. Drops his shoulder, twists and turns. Maguire's helped him out. The two almost challenge each other. Maguire still got it, back heels it to Sercombe. So tight on the line, that play, and so effective between Sercombe and Maguire, who exchange passes once more. And Sercombe with Bean all over his backside, still win possession. Back now to Ruffles, and then to Wright, and Wright's a bit more hurried in his clearance. He's put under pressure, breaks back to Lundstrom, volleyed forward to Roof. Good bit of possession here from Oxford. Roof holds off a challenge of Pierre, gets away from the big man, palms him off, and then the referee pulls it back. Thought about the advantage. I thought that was decent refereeing from the man in charge. Pulls it back for a free kick to Oxford, with Roof running out of room on the far side.
He was running out of room, but he'll be disappointed he didn't play advantage and keep going. I think the only player out there was saying pull it back was Chris Maguire. 30 yards out with the ball at his feet. Skiddy surface. Again, this has got to hit the target for this one, Chris.
The Kemar Roof song, sung proudly by the Yellow Army. BBC Radio Oxford Sport, 20 minutes gone in the second period. Oxford United 1, Wycombe Wanderers 0. Peter Rose-Brown, our summariser.
Roofies put it down, Maguire stood behind him. No one said they were arguing, but they said, do you fancy it, I'll have it. Jake intervened for a while, but it's down to the boys to sort it out. Which toy is going to be bigger than the other guys?
And will it be a big enough strike to give Oxford United a bit of clear daylight against the team from just along the M40 across the border in Buckinghamshire? Who are your big bucks on? Maguire or Roof? It's Roof. It's over. It's still 1-0 to Oxford.
I think Maguire's last little chat over Roof's ear was, you better score, son. No, but that's good. You know, we've got two great set pieces deliverers, but we've got a few in the team, to be fair, but at the moment Oxford 1 up.
Over an hour gone. Does Michael Appleton maybe think soon about a fresh pair of legs at the top there? We shall see in a minute as the ball is played into the Oxford penalty area. And Dunkley stands strong and wins a goal kick for his side. That's super play from Shay Dunkley once again. More liquid taken on board here in the commentary position as well.
Yeah, but mine hasn't got a head on it, boys. I don't want this. It needs to have a head on it and be a little bit darker colour.
The most important head on it so far has come from Shay Dunkley.
See, and that's why we were a team, son.
And that's the goal which separates the two sides. Peter Rose-Brown playing Chris Maguire to my Shay Dunkley there. Nice. And it's a goal kick for United. And Benji Buckell, who's made a couple of very important interventions in this game actually this afternoon. And made a great save last week, Carlisle as well. Gets it forward, and in behind is Maguire. Maguire, it's down the throat of the goalkeeper. He was stretching, and he was just not able to get in direction on that particular shot, and it was easy for the goalkeeper. They almost sprung the trap.
Just stretching, but you can see that the boys are willing. They need to get another one, and he's running beyond the centre forwards, and it's running for midfielders doing it as well.
Great clearance from the keeper, by the way. Finds John Barty. He's almost playing left wing now, the left back. He goes over in the challenge from Kenny, who may only be a young man on loan from a Premier League side, but he's picked up the League Two way pretty quickly, John Joe Kenny. Have some of that and we'll carry on. And they do. And McDonald now into a challenge, keeps the ball in play, and then Roof is sent in a bundle, and it's a throw to Wycombe. Roof having a little word there with Keith Stroud, arm stretch, you know, any chance there, ref? Referee says no. With a smile, we'll carry on. A couple of games of this season, Keith Stroud, including Oxford's win over Yeovil in the JPT. And here's Liam Sercombe clearing his lines only into midfield as far as Danny Rowe. Rowe crosses and right. It's a captain's header to clear the danger, and then Lundstrom, and then Hilton plays it forward, and Maguire's on the charge. But Allsop is a long way outside his penalty area and sees Maguire off at the pass and gets Wycombe going down the right side. But Lundstrom goes across to make a challenge. That's decent play from John Lundstrom.
So John's had a quiet game today. He's not been spraying the balls about left, right and centre. He's not been able to do that today. But he has orchestrated nice and tight marking in midfield with Liam Sercombe as well.
And a warning, Jerome, not long now till you're on. You just give me the nod when you're ready. He's not ready. I understand that. Here's Hilton for Oxford as United win possession from the Wycombe throw. Crossing halfway. And Maguire picks the ball up. Quick feet, wins a free kick. Pretty spectacularly. That's decent play from the Oxford United number 28. Just a little tumble. Under pressure, and it's a free kick to Michael Appleton's side. We've got about 22 minutes left in this game, plus a bit of stoppages. In next 22 minutes, we'll decide what Oxford are doing in the summer, what division they're in, and if we're working again later this week. Jerome Sale, Oxford lead 1-0.
Free kick, followed by another free kick. Stewart on Kemar Roof, and that's 3 of the Wycombe back line that are going to be in the book. With John Barty and Pierre already in the yellow card club.
Bad challenge from behind on the edge of the box,
wasn't it just? By the way, Nathan, what on earth happened to this game going as quickly as you could imagine?
Stopped doing that at half-time. First half, I still maintain it was from my point of view, but yeah.
So a free kick to Oxford United, left edge of the penalty area. It's quite a long way out just because the angle is tight. Sunshine here at the Castad now. Applause for Callum O'Dowda as he and James Roberts start to warm up. Applause for James Roberts as well. 1-0 to Oxford United here, 20 minutes to play. And a little bit of change. Free kick to Oxford, they keep John Joe Kenny back. Lundstrom runs over it, Maguire hits it, near post, carried away by the goalkeeper, who's keeping his side in it now, Ryan Allsop. because in the first half United were missing the target. Now they're hitting the keeper.
That's possibly the shout at half time. Make him make a save. Last corner from this side, I do believe we scored.
1-0 to Oxford. 20 minutes to play. Right on the nose now. Corner to Oxford, played in by Maguire. Near post check right after it, headed away by Stewart. Ruffles tries to nod it back towards the danger area, but he'll need a second intervention. Good chest control from Ruffles. Now a pass to Circum, 25 yards out. He gets it out to Dunkley, who's still up after the initial corner. Now Hilton chips it into the penalty area to Kemar Roof, who's eased off it. Penalty given! Roof eased off it. Oxford say that's got to be a yellow card. I don't think the referee is going to take any further action, but he has given a penalty to Oxford United.
I don't think he will, though. Boys, don't worry about the standing off. Just do your job and get the ball in the back of the net. Chris Maguire, if anyone on the pitch is going to score, you know what I mean?
Well,
I heard his interview after the penalty the other day, and without any doubt, he's the man, the confidence. Jambati's going to sledge him as he walks up to him.
Of course he is.
No, he's not. Yes, he is.
Oxford have had penalty problems all season. They had penalty problems against Wycombe here last season. They lead by a goal to nil, and this is pivotal because if United miss it, it will give Wycombe fuel injection. If they score it, they're halfway there. Chris Maguire for Oxford United from the penalty spot scores! 2-0 to Oxford United, 19 minutes to go. Is that the moment where Oxford United ease the nerves and start to enjoy themselves? Chris Maguire from the penalty spot for the second time in a week, and it's 2-0 to the U's at the Castad.
Well, amazing strike, incredible strike. If you're listening at home, this is amazing here. Honestly, I can't believe this. This is just incredible scenes. Three boys didn't run and celebrate. Jake, Shay Dunkley. They went back to the halfway line, had a chat and went, right, now we get a clean sheet.
It's another change coming for Wycombe Wanderers, their final one of the afternoon. They're taking off Hayes, the captain, and they're going to bring on Rowan Liburd. Sunderland have gone 3-2 up against Chelsea, by the way. Big game in the Premier League. This is a massive match at the Kassam Stadium, and Chris Maguire's put a bit of breathing space between Oxford United and Wycombe Wanderers, who won't throw it in, by the way, Wycombe Wanderers now. That is not their style. They've used all their substitutes. They do have a man down injured. As Maguire, who's got ice running through his veins, scampers off down the left-hand side. The Wycombe man now can get some treatment. Peter Rhodes-Brown.
Well, as soon as Wycombe have kicked off after they've conceded the second, we had 4 or 5 players that were running to get the ball. Lad's down, I think he's got an arm or a wrist. I think he might be struggling with his arm or his wrist is falling awkwardly. Both Oxford United and Wycombe players are calling the physio on straight away. Oh, he's up, he's fine. Make your mind up, son. Do you want treatment or not?
Danny Rowe, who is asking why it wasn't a free kick. Hey? Yeah, they are.
I believe so. I haven't celebrated either goal, by the way.
This is BBC Radio Oxford Sport. This is the Kassam Stadium, and this is the noise from the Oxford United fans. Two 2-0 to Oxford United here, and if it stays like this, it won't matter what's going on elsewhere. Rowe is back on his feet. There's a throw into Wycombe Wanderers on the far side of the field. Down the line it goes, won by Ruffles, who heads it out of play. Some of the Radio Oxford staff behind the goal away to our right saying it was a bit of a soft penalty. Some of the messages we get, who cares after that? United trying to break forward with Alex McDonald. Oxford not made a substitution yet. McDonald scampers forward. John Barty pulling at him, pulls it back to the back of the penalty area. Maguire nods it towards the near post, and it's scrambled away by Stewart. Maguire now left edge of the box. looking to hold possession as McCarthy challenges him. Little run on the overlap from Josh Ruffles, and he takes it on. A little early to go to the corner flag, but what Oxford don't want to do is give up cheap possession, and they have done. Ruffles trying to get it back to Danny Hilton. Sliding challenge, though, gets it back to Hilton, and here's Circum, who's fouled. Daft free kick to give away by McCarthy, and United have a free kick 25 yards from goal in a decent position.
Good position, right side. Centre, but about 10 yards wide. Chris Maguire. Johnny Lundstrom will fancy this, but Rufy's missed one from there. Maguire's made the keeper make a save. Johnny Lundstrom, maybe we should roll it square for Johnny Lundstrom to have a strike.
I hope you're proud listening at home or wherever you are around the world. This is your team and these are your people. Here's the free kick for Chris Maguire. 4 in the wall for Wycombe Wanderers. Maguire gets it towards the near post and the keeper makes another save.
He's made the keeper make another save. That's good. This time the keeper held it instead of parrying it. They come forward. Big long kick from the keeper. We've got to make sure that we...
Kenny wins the header. Circum stoops in a little bit and the referee gives a free kick for dangerous play against the Wycombe substitute.
I think our ball boy's on a bit of a go slow at the moment. He'll never get a contract, that boy, I'll tell you.
Swindon Town, we're coming for you, is the cry from the Castad. That is a proper derby, by the way. Will it be coming back here next season for the first time since 2012 for a league game? Lundstrom, big diagonal, Ruffles keeps it in momentarily, then it's out of play on the far side of the field. There are still 14 minutes of this game to go, and if Wycombe score, the humour will dissipate quite quickly. And it will feel like a Vets, because people will be having kittens.
I've had my 4 already this morning.
Roof still on the pitch despite his ankle injury. Left-footed volley from him will go out of play. Question marks, of course, about the long-term future of some of these Oxford United players. Callum O'Dowda ready to come on. Will that be for Roof? It's for Alex McDonald. McDonald got as far away from the tunnel as he could. Now he leaves the field with 12.5 minutes to go. And the applause he's getting is for his contribution for 18 months, I think, as much as for the last hour and a half or so.
He's done great, he's still full of energy. We love him, I'll tell you what. He'll be a massive member next year for Oxford United next season. Big energy.
Could be back-to-back promotions for Alex McDonald, for though he played for Oxford United at the end of last season, he played enough games for Burton Albion to get a medal. O'Dowda now on. He's been such a big part of Oxford United's resurgence under Michael Appleton. Maguire, head pass to Roof, who scampers off down the left-hand side. McCarthy is still battling for it. Like this is a derby game that's still in the balance, so to a point it is. Forward it goes from the keeper, one in the air by Josh Ruffles, who so far has been immense.
I'll tell you what, that could have been Joe Scars then out there. I mean, he's got a great left foot, he's got a good defending head on, he can pass the ball, he does what Joe Scars has done. I'll tell you what, that's a great game for Josh Ruffles today.
Lundstrom's attempted volleyed clearance is blocked. Ruffles' header is collected for Wycombe, who play an up and under to the edge of Oxford United's penalty area. And United almost concede. In fact, some of the Wycombe Wanderers fans thought they had. United backed off Buchal and Jake Wright, not for the first time this season, with a bit of a communication error, but the opportunity that was almost presenting itself for Wycombe comes to naught, and that was an opportunity there that was spurned by Ugwu.
Should have scored. Ball's bounced over Jake. It bounced awkwardly between the both defenders, and obviously the big centre forward has obviously just read it better than the two centre halves and the keeper, but side netting, still 2 Oxford, 2 up.
BBC Radio Oxford Sport 95.2 FM. We've still got more than 10 minutes to play here at the Kassam Stadium. Still Bristol Rovers 1, Dagenham 1, still Accrington 0, Stevenage 0. these players, as it stands, could be getting runners-up medals.
Wow.
Still a little bit of time left, and still that could change with a goal at Accrington. Or 2 goals for Wycombe Wanderers, of course. The message to the fans is stay off the pitch. Long way still in this game to go. Players know it. Maguire battles for it far side of the field and wins a throw-in 15 yards inside the Wycombe half. 10 minutes to play. There'll be a fair bit of stoppage time. It's 2-0 to Oxford United, and while it stays like that, nothing else matters. Maguire's won another throw-in on the far side of the field. This is BBC Radio Oxford Sport 95.2 FM. It's Oxfordshire's sports leader, and it is 2-0 to Oxford United, and the U's scrapping for the ball on the edge of the Wycombe penalty area. Foul conceded by Danny Hilton.
Well, not long to go. 2 up. It's a great position to be in.
It's a little bit quiet though at the moment, isn't it?
Yep. Still edgy. Still edgy. I'd like another one so I can celebrate the third, because I haven't celebrated either of the 2 goals yet. But we are Oxford United, and we are 2 up at the moment.
9 minutes to go as the ball's banged to Oxford United's penalty area. Dunkley with a header. O'Dowd's first touch is a headed clearance. Hilton helps it towards the touchline near side of the field. It will run out of play for a Wycombe Wanderers throw-in. And they throw everyone forward, and there are gaps at the back, but whether Oxford United try and exploit them or not remains to be seen. Hilton and Rowe just having a little bit of a set to. So the ball's worked to the edge of Oxford's penalty area. Lundstrom has completely skied it. A headed clearance from Dunkley. Hilton a tired clearance and a long-range shot almost works out for Wycombe, but the block from Lundstrom finds Maguire now with a pass, and Oxford struggling to get bodies forward. They put a lot into the game so far, Oxford players. Roof still going, tries to get on the end of a pass from Maguire and makes a bad pass a good one, but only momentarily. Wycombe have won it back. Good interception by Jake Wright. Franco Baresi stepping out of the back line. And this is Bellissimo. As the ball's played forward, and O'Dowd is onside, wide on the right. Only 2 in the penalty area. Oxford, no urgency. And then O'Dowd tackles himself and wins a corner. I kid you not, he fell over his own feet, but still reacted quickly enough to get the ball off to the defender.
Step over, fall over, win a corner. He's made a great run across that back line. You know, he looked offside from here, but obviously what he's done, he's level. Great timing. Oh, we're not going to go for a short corner, chaps, are we?
I think we are. I think we're going to get a short corner here. Get on with it, says the referee. The reason I think that is there are 3 players around the ball, not just 2. They do work it short. O'Dowd holding it up, down by the corner flag. Wrestling match goes on, and I think O'Dowd might... Well, morally, he got the final touch. I think that's the view of the assistant referee. The throw-in taken quickly for Wycombe, who hammer it towards the halfway line. Oh, that's a back header from Jake Wright. That's as cool as a cucumber in these conditions. All the way back to Benji Buchel, who might take a leaf out of the Wycombe Wanderers book and hold on to that football for quite some time. There's a party going on the top of a van. There must be 25, 30 people on top of that van watching this game. Last time we saw people watching like that, a team got promoted out of League 2 into League 1. It was 10 years ago yesterday. But it was not Oxford United who got promoted. Here come Wycombe trying to stop them going up in the here and now. Good run down the left-hand side, this, from Ugwu. He's dragged 3 Oxford United players into positions they don't want to be in, but the pass is poor in the end, and Benji Buchel has it, the Oxford United goalkeeper, away to our left, and there are 6 minutes plus stoppage time to play. No, you don't need to say anything. Crowd says it all, Rosie.
I think it's possibly the game that I've probably commentated least.
Book your place. If you're particularly listening to this elsewhere, text us or tweet us with contact details. We'll speak to you in the last hour of the programme. Oxford work the ball forward. Roof trying to get in on the edge of the penalty area. The goalkeeper Ryan Allsott has the ball and kicks from hand quickly. Deep into Oxford territory. Kenny's having his shirt pulled. The referee spotted it. Stupid from Ugwu, who gives away cheap possession. Probably daft from Oxford as well to leave the big man up, trying to win the ball in the air from John Joe Kenny.
And I think if it's coming via the corner flag, you don't mind that. Jordan Bowery coming on. Danny Hill.
Could have had a hat-trick today, Danny Hilton. He was good last season, and he was top scorer. At times this season, he has been unplayable. He's out of contract. In theory, he's played his last game for Oxford United. But he said the first thing he'll be doing is knocking on the chairman's door asking to stay. And United would be mental to stop that happening. Jordan Bowery comes on.
And also George Waring will be on in a second as well.
I think they'll try and... Yeah, they move Roof to the far side of the field, so it might be for Roof. They've got Maguire as well. I think they'll try and wait for the substitution just to keep breaking the game up. Ball forward towards Roof, who's beaten in the air, but Josh Ruffles, who's outstanding today, is backing up behind him. Roof now lays it off to Liam Sercombe, who was a shout himself for Player of the Year. Wycombe have won it back, and Ugru has chested the ball in field, but Kenny and Dunkley and Jake Wright sorted out. And Barry's got himself onside, and now will put pressure on Stewart, but it's out of play on the far side of the field for a throw-in to Wycombe Wanderers. 4 minutes left, and Waring's ready to come on. Maguire so far away, I can't believe it's not him, although Roof isn't much behind him. Shay Dunkley gets man of the match. It's Kemar Roof who goes off. The top scorer again might have played his last. The Vultures are circling. But if Oxford fans are true to their word, they'll be singing his name all night. Kemar Roof has been magic. He exits stage right to be replaced by George Waring.
What a player. John Barty shakes his hand.
Let's hear those Oxford fans. He's got to be Player of the Year, but Danny Hilton plays so wholeheartedly. Fans who watch games regularly, you can understand them going for him. Free kick given away by Maguire on the far side of the field. 2.5 minutes left, 2-0 to Oxford United.
Well, very, very close call. We've got people on the fence. Be careful, chaps up there. On the wall behind. But, well, 2-0 Oxford United. This is just incredible.
The ball played forward by Allsop, the Wycombe Wanderers goalkeeper. Dunkley wins it in the air again, justifying his man of the match nomination as O'Dowda collects it, and Oxford could spring Wycombe again. O'Dowda's got the legs, plays it forward to Waring, who tries to get it out of his feet quickly. Barry could put pressure on McCarthy, and his back pass, Allsop shanks it somewhat, but he does get it out of his feet. And here's Ruffles, whose header goes back towards his own goal. But he's there to help out his captain, who gets a touch, and now here's Maguire, who has come good just when it mattered this season. His 2 penalties in the last 2 games will never be forgotten. And it's not often you say that about penalty kicks, but Oxford have been so shambolic from the spot this season. It meant so much. They're into 4 minutes of stoppage time at the Memorial Ground. It's still 1-1 there. In theory, we could be able to declare an Oxford United promotion with Ross Heaton at Bristol Rovers before we get it here. Here's Lundstrom, fed by Sercombe. Barry almost sprung and Wycombe closed the door. Ugwu, big ball out to the right-hand side, needs good control, doesn't forthcome, and it's going to be a throw to Oxford United on the halfway line.
Well, they are, Nathan and the boys, we've asked the supporters to stay off the pitch at the end of the game. The players are going to come out for lap of honour, but only if the fans stay off the pitch. Difficult one, isn't it, you know? If they do come on, they've got to get off, but you won't see your players walking around.
Last minute of the 90 here, 2-0 to Oxford United. Wycombe trying to get forward and give us a nervy 90. Jake Wright made it with an interception and a good pass to Liam Sercombe. And then Ruffles clears the job up again, and Waring, if he wins this, could get Barry going through again onto a back pass, but it's sorted out well at the back by Wycombe Wanderers. Clearance from the keeper Allsop. Jake Wright gets his head to the ball. Again, he needs Ruffles to clear up, and he's done brilliantly. Can Lundstrom keep it on for Oxford United, far side of the field? No. Wycombe come forward, edge of the penalty area. Lundstrom forward to Waring. Here's Maguire. 5 minutes of stoppage time added here. As United break forward with Callum O'Dowda, right edge of the penalty area. Barry available to him, but O'Dowda goes forward on his own. Gets back up on his feet after a stumble. Callum O'Dowda! The Kidlington kid put Oxford United, his hometown club, into League One! He's dreamt of a moment like that his whole life! And for the first time in 15 years, Oxford United will play at the third tier of British football. And it's tears at the Kassam Stadium of joy, not agony. Callum O'Dowda makes it Oxford United 3, Wycombe Wanderers 0. Oxford will be promoted to League One tonight.
Well, I can now celebrate that third one. Some of us nominated 3-0. I'm like that, I bet. What a finish, by the way. He's chased lost causes, he's won the ball, inside, outside. John Barty's got on the ground, he's lost it, and Callum has smashed it over the keeper, centre of the goal. Unbelievable scenes. All the subs, everybody pulled up on top.
We're here from the fans with selfie at full time. Bristol Rovers have scored. They made it 2-1 against Dagenham. But as that happened, Callum O'Dowda, one of our own, puts it into the back of Wycombe's net. Wycombe haven't lost in Oxford for 11 years. They have now.
They have now. That's all. Don't tell me about stats. Stats don't count for anything. This was just an amazing, amazing day. 3-0. Wow. Couldn't call it, could you? Well, some of us did. But body language of the Wycombe boys, they've given up. Some of them actually gave up a little bit earlier. But not Callum. He's chased it into the corner. Won that one. Got it back. Smashed it top corner. Thank you very much. Good night, Vienna. It's another foul throw.
Let's enjoy the noise of the Castad. Oxford 3, Wycombe 0. BBC Radio Oxford Sport. We brought you a heck of a lot of misery over recent years. We brought you some good times too.
Oh, we've had a few.
But this is right up there. But I don't think I've looked and seen you as emotional for 6 years, Rosie, to be honest with you.
Not league-wise, no, for certain, for certain.
1 minute left at Accrington Stanley, by the way, who are still being held by Stevenage. And we'll get into the significance of that in a second, as Oxford maybe could rub it in a little bit here on Wycombe Wanderers. They're here to spoil the party, Wycombe. Nope. O'Dowda wins a header. Circum into the penalty area. At the east stand end of the ground, he goes tumbling down, and the referee gives a goal kick.
Wow. I think John Barty's gone for John Joe as well.
Still 90 seconds to go in stoppage time, but the Oxford United staff are gathering together, ready to celebrate. This is the best I've felt for a week, let me tell you. Full time at Bristol Rovers. They've won 2-1. It does not matter. Although Bristol Rovers may be going up depending on what happens at Accrington. Oxford breaking forward down the right-hand side. An opportunity maybe for O'Dowda to get it into the penalty area. 3-0 to Oxford United here.
Not sure how many minutes left on the extra time. I think it was 3, wasn't it, Jerome?
5 minutes were added. We're into the 5th minute. And the ball's pumped forward into Wycombe territory. Down by the corner flag, Oxford have it. Still playing at Accrington, who, as it stands, are out of the automatic promotion places, by the way. Wycombe clear their lines here, out for a throw-in. Referee looks at his watch. Quick word with Joel Hammer at Accrington.
Still 0-0 here, and the misery that Oxford United fans were fearing for them at the beginning of the day is going to be visited on Stanley unless, no, they can't get there. And in fact, that is the final whistle, and Accrington Stanley will have to do with the playoffs.
And Oxford United will finish second in the League Two standings as the final whistle goes here. The pitch invasion starts. Oxford United are on their summer holidays knowing that they'll be back